I'm ready to go.
I love that you played that entire speech. That was great. Um, so it is Aliens in August time. We're really excited to kick off this series of shows we're going to have in August, and we're going to discuss some of our favorite films and TV shows that feature extraterrestrials, um, alien invasions, and the like. We're going to talk about some other things too. You know, there some of the new documentary that's been released on Showtime. Hopefully, we'll discuss that. That's called UFO. I started watching that
Yeah, I saw you
last
sent
night.
that to me. I haven't got a chance to watch that yet, but
Yeah, the
this
first
is very
episode's
interesting.
like available for free on
On
YouTube,
YouTube,
like
yeah.
on
Hmm.
Showtime's YouTube channel.
Hmm.
It's really fascinating stuff, so I would like to dig into that too. And we might even talk a little bit about some of the information that was released by was it the Pentagon or
Oh yeah, yeah. We're definitely gonna be talking about that DoD report or Pentagon
DoD
report.
report?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
But before we get into our discussion today about Independence Day and Men in Black, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit, Adam, about aliens in general and where you stand
Hmm.
on aliens and UFOs. So, are you a believer, and why or why not?
They are out there. I do believe. I can't think. I mean, you talk about or just even think about the size of the universe, size of the galaxy that doesn't end. You know, that we're told that it just goes on forever, infinitely.
Hmm.
And you know, you also talk about the percentage chance that life would exist on one planet. You know, talk about that so low, but if you keep going forever and ever and ever,
Hmm.
eventually, I would think that that possibility would pop up again. So I absolutely believe that there are other forms of life out there somewhere. Um, I do believe that they have been here, visited. Um, I don't know that they're out there among us. You know, we'll talk about that in Men in Black a little bit. That idea, but
Hmm.
I do believe that they are out there, and I do believe that they have stopped by.
They've paid us a visit or two.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, this is a tough topic for me. I've always been kind of a believer. You know, I've always you know looked up to the sky and I've even seen a couple things here and there we'll talk about. But um, it's hard for me to, at the same time, it's hard for me to reconcile my belief in aliens with my, with my Christian beliefs as
I was
well.
wondering if you're gonna,
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes that comes into conflict for me. Like, if God created the earth and us and the heavens and everything all for us, how does that play into that how does that play into that conversation and into that logic? So that's one thing where I struggle. Now, I do, however, firmly believe with 100% certainty that there are UFOs, unidentified flying objects. And this was a point that was presented in that UFO documentary. It's not a matter of if UFOs exist or not, because they do. It's what you believe they are
Where they, yeah, you
is
know
the
what they are,
question.
where they came from, yeah.
And that's where it gets tricky for me. Like, are they aliens?
Hmm.
Are they us in the future, looking back on our mistakes and and what went wrong at some time in the future?
Hmm.
Um,
Are
has
they
always
other
been like a
are
theory of mine.
are they experimental technology from other companies or
Or
from
is
other
it
countries or our
yeah, is it
country?
experimental
Yeah,
technology? So
right.
what is it? So yeah, this is a tough subject for me, and I have a lot of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Um, my other thought is, I wonder why, for whatever reason, when it comes to UFO videos that we have and stuff, there's never like a clear video. It's all it's always blurry. It's
It's
always
yeah.
terrible quality. Like, why don't we have? You would think with iPhones nowadays and everything that we would have some clear. Um, but even with iPhones though, even when you take a video or a
It's
picture of
hard,
like the
especially
moon or
when you're doing
something,
it
it
that
doesn't even
quick.
look right.
Especially when you're doing
Yeah.
it that quick, like unless you're ready for it, and you're like sitting out in the Nevada desert and just
Yeah.
with your camera straight at the sky, waiting for something. It's hard to just whip that out and
Yeah.
film, get a good film. The other thing, like with the UFO videos that we'll talk about in that DoD report, like those are like Air Force videos. So those are
Yeah.
taken on like an airplane camera that's moving at hundreds of miles an
Right.
hour, that's catching an
Right.
object that's also moving at hundreds of miles an hour or faster. Some of those things on those videos are stupid fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
how fast they're actually moving. Um, but yeah, it's I mean like those are tough to get like good, but some of those are really compelling, really interesting
Oh
videos.
yeah. I
So
guess I just wish there was one like out there that was like really like crystal clear.
I think everyone wishes that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, this is one of those topics that I struggle with. I go back and forth,
yeah.
and I believe,
Like my
yeah.
Christianity, I don't think that really. I don't think that really like. I don't think that they step on each other's toes as far as my beliefs go. Like I don't know that. I don't see where me personally being believing what I believe with religion stops anything else from being true.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see where the God that I believe in created other beings. I mean, are they saved? I don't know.
Right. Right.
Do they have that opportunity? I would imagine so. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like. I don't see where just because if it's true, I don't see where God would be limited to just save one species, or
Sure.
one race of
Sure.
creatures or whatever He made.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think humans limit that in their own head, just because
Mm-hmm.
we can't wrap around what God actually would be. You know,
That's a
it's
good
and it's
point.
hard to think in those terms. So
Yeah. Yes. My own mind has a hard time wrapping my mind around
it's hard to
all that.
wrap around just thinking about how how big the universe is. Like it just goes on
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, and then you think about it and how small we actually are, and it's mind bending sometimes.
Yeah. Either way, this has always been a
Uh,
very fascinating topic for me,
that
and
maybe we're
something that I've,
all just
yeah.
little particles of a marble that's being played in a giant game of marbles by some alien.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
my next question before we get into the movies is, have you had any personal experiences with UFO sightings or anything like that?
um, Not really with UFOs. I have taken a couple pictures with zoom in and I see some interesting interesting anomalies in the pictures. I guess. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't know if I wouldn't actually call it a UFO. I don't think I would say that I captured anything in that picture. But it was interesting, to take a picture and to look at it later and to see something that I didn't see with my naked eye.
Yeah,
So I haven't
that
had
is
any
interesting.
particular UFO experiences. I have had some other strange paranormal experiences though,
Mm-hmm.
that have made me believe in things like an afterlife or that
Oh
type
yeah,
of stuff. So, but yeah, how about you?
cool. For me, there's one in particular that comes to mind, and our buddy Cully, we used to go to his house for like the 4th of July, and I don't
Hmm.
remember if this happened on the 4th of July or I think it was even just a different night that we were hanging out over there. Because I don't remember this being like firework related in any way. But where his house sat, like you could see on the horizon, like it was at a pretty high vantage point, so you
Yeah,
could see
yeah.
like lots of things from up there, and um I remember it was dark, and I just remember seeing either one or two, I don't remember how many there were, but like balls of light. And um they did this weird thing where they would move like really fast across the sky and then
Hmm.
back really fast again, and then they like disappeared, just vanished. And
That's interesting.
and some of the stuff I'm watching in this
Looks
documentary, this
exactly
UFO
like that.
documentary,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. So I
Hmm.
was like, wow, I can really relate to that story
That's
because
interesting.
and I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, that was an experience that was, pretty profound when it comes to that.
Yeah, I would imagine it would
Um,
be.
yeah. So I don't know if I'll ever know the answer, but this is going to be fun to dive into. But let's just talk for right now about Independence